How's it going, guys and girls? I hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today with another video. Today I want to talk about the Resident Evil 4 remake. Now, from the title of this video, I'm sure you're expecting me to shit on the game. That is not what this video is about. Resident Evil 4 remake. Let's make this very clear. It's a great game, fabulous game. Brilliant gameplay, set pieces, looks gorgeous. It's a really good remake of the original, and I am enjoying it. However, Resident Evil 4 has a huge problem that no one seems to be talking about. I have checked reviews of this game. They are all glowing, but none of them have mentioned what for me is a pretty serious problem or flaw with the game. And that is simply the fact that the game makes me feel so sick. This game has serious issues with motion sickness. Now, I am not a player that usually struggles with motion sickness. Very rarely do I get motion sick. Most of them tend to be if I'm watching someone play a first-person game and the camera's swinging around a lot, the frame rate is not great. I've had the odd occasion, but not really very often. I don't really struggle with motion sickness at all, and I can say playing the Resident Evil 4 remake for myself and also Dante, who has been playing with me, we have both been really struggling with motion sickness to the extent that we've only played about, I'd say, 5.5 hours of the game. We can't play more than an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, without feeling sick to our stomach. What this means is I had one night where I think we played for 2 hours and we swapped control. So I started and then Dante took over, and I literally had to stop the game and go upstairs to lie down because you get that usual nausea, your head feels woolly, your stomach's churning, you start to get hot flushes and you just feel really nauseous. It's a horrible feeling, and yeah, the game was making me feel that way. So it's going to take us a very long time to play through Resident Evil 4. I think it's going to be a game that we're going to have to pick at, which makes me a little bit sad because I was hoping to kind of burn through the game in a couple of sittings and actually get a review out to you guys. Now, I will still do a review if there is interest, but obviously it will be probably a couple of weeks down the line, depending on how long it takes us to actually beat it. I was very curious to see if other people were having similar issues, and looking around on the internet, I simply just typed into Google Resident Evil 4 remake causing motion sickness, and I was quite surprised by the volume of people that are actually saying they're having the same problem. On Reddit, there are tons of posts on Reddit on the Steam community tab, a lot of people talking about the game making them feel sick, not being able to play more than 30 minutes. A lot of the comments I can definitely relate to. A lot of people saying they'd never had this happen to them before. But when they got to a certain part in the game, the motion sickness just really started to kick in for them, which is kind of new for them, and it's not really something that they struggle with, which is the same for me. And the fact that it's affecting Dante as well is really not good. It's really not good. One person even said they could only play the game for about 30 minutes and then they would get dizzy and nauseous. They tried downloading mods to the game. I'm assuming they're playing it on PC to increase the frame of view, which helped a bit, but they were still feeling sick, and a lot of people sort of reiterating the same thing. A lot of people saying that they didn't have this issue with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes, but actually that in Resident Evil 4 they're really struggling. And I think one of the reasons for that is the camera in Resident Evil 4 is a little bit different. It's almost claustrophobic in just how close it is and how locked in it is on Leon, and what that means is Leon is often blocking half of the camera, and the idea of that obviously is to make things feel more threatening, more claustrophobic, and obviously it adds to that element of horror. But it does mean that the camera really is just moving very suddenly all over the place, and obviously that motion can cause nausea. Now there are ways to try and mitigate that, and that's what I kind of want to talk about in today's video, is just some of the potential fixes that are there. I think it will very much depend on the person as to whether or not these do actually work. But within the game itself, there is actually an accessibility feature. There is a preset in there for motion sickness. So if you tab along to accessibility, you can actually set this preset. And that will do a certain number of things to help hopefully prevent motion sickness. So for example, the camera wobble is turned off. The camera wobble is basically kind of Leon's head sort of bobs up and down. That will be turned off. Motion blur can often lead to nausea and motion sickness. That's turned off too. And then the display is adjusted as well. So the HUD will have a dot display always on, when you're not shooting, so that you got something, I guess, to focus on as you're looking around. Then lens distortion is turned off as well, and depth of field is turned off as well. In addition to the accessibility feature here, you can also do a number of tweaks yourself to help mitigate the situation. So field of view is often a big cause of motion sickness. If that field of view is too narrow, sometimes it can cause this woozy feeling. So if you broaden that field of view, some people recommend turning it to max in the camera settings. It can help with it. In the game as well, there is also camera speed and also camera acceleration. So camera speed is basically how quickly you turn or move and how quickly you can aim as well. And camera acceleration is kind of how the camera will sort of speed up as Leon is moving forward and also aiming. Now, if this is set too low, it can make Leon's movements feel very sluggish, and that can kind of do funny things with your vision and your head, and can cause motion sickness. So one of the recommendations is actually to set camera acceleration to maximum and also camera speed to maximum as well, just so that you don't have any acceleration and you are fully controlling that camera yourself, and don't have to contend with that. I think very much with these settings, it is about tweaking it and finding what works for you. Dante and I actually tweaked the settings last night, and while we still had a small degree of nausea, we did actually have less of it. So I think we got to about maybe an hour 15 minutes that we'd played, and whereas a few days ago I would have been just having to lie down because I would be feeling that bad, I felt the beginnings of nausea very early on, so I just stopped playing. So it doesn't fully fix it. There is definitely an issue with the game and motion sickness, and it seems that Capcom were even aware of it, because the fact that they included an accessibility feature for motion sickness means that they were aware that this was an issue with the game, and I think that's really not cool. I think they should really be called out on that. Obviously it's specific to the person, but a lot of people will have been really excited for the Resident Evil 4 remake. For a lot of people, it probably is their most anticipated game of this year. And to be able to not experience that the way that they want because of this motion sickness it sucks. It's a really shitty situation. Now, I'm not saying the game is bad. It's not. The game is actually really, really good. It's a fantastic game, and the little I've played of it so far, I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm really keen to carry on playing it and see where the story goes, because I hear it's a fantastic story. But yeah, I will admit that there is a certain element of me that is kind of not only nervous about playing this game because it's a horror, but also because it might make me feel sick, which is really not cool. So I wanted to share this with you guys because No one has been talking about it, and I do think this is a big issue that needs making public, needs raising. I obviously want to touch upon some of the ways that you could fix it if you're having the issue yourself, and obviously see if any of you have had any issues with motion sickness, if any of you have played Resident Evil 4 Remake. If you haven't bought the game and you are considering buying the game, you can actually download and play a free demo, and I would recommend potentially doing that first. Play the demo, see how you feel after playing it. If you feel fine and you don't feel motion sick, then certainly go out and buy this game. But I don't want you guys to pick up the game and then feel absolutely awful and not be able to finish the game because of just terrible motion sickness, which would be really shitty and really unfair. So yeah, have any of you guys struggled or suffered with motion sickness with Resident Evil 4? Share in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys also have found fixes and solutions to motion sickness before, because this is not something I usually suffer from. So if you guys have any suggestions, I would really welcome and appreciate those. So please do share those in the comment section as well. Anyway, I just wanted to throw this out there this week and share this with you and generally get your thoughts on it. So let me know what you guys think. Have a great week, of course. I'll be back again with more content. Definitely going to be back on the 1st of May, hopefully, with a top 10 game releases coming out in May. May is a stacked month, so expect quite an in-depth video there and look forward to that. But anyway, hope you guys are having a great week, of course. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys. I should go.